Pete, if you could cue my music one more time. Multiple media outlets are confirming that one NFL head coach is dating a Maxim cover model. She is the cover of the December issue of Maxim Australia. Katerina Mcdermott, not sure, but Katerina is her name. And blonde, beautiful supermodel. She is apparently a big NFL fan. She's been rumored to be dating a certain head coach, and now she's finally verified it on social media. Now, I have given my top 10 potential NFL coaches I would have assumed before seeing this story. My top 10 list looks like this. Cliff Kingsbury is your number 1 seed overall. Sean McVay is a strong 2. Matt LaFleur is a 3. And I forgot this name at the end of last hour. Urban Meyer is 4.
I keep forgetting he's an NFL coach.
After what we saw at Urban's Pint House, he's absolutely a top 4 seed. That puts your 2 other young offensive guys, Zach Taylor, Brandon Staley, neither one of which have a personality outside of the other. They're kind of one and the same. But again, young, offensive-minded, articulate guys. You put them in your top 10.
They'd be in the top 10, but I believe Staley's actually defensive-minded.
Oh, right. My number 7 is going to be Mike Vrable. Vrable is a guy that will go on Barstool. He's a guy that has said some crude things in the past. He's a bro's bro, and I could see women being attracted to Mike Vrable and him not caring about dating a supermodel. Like, not intimidated. He's totally in for whatever comes with dating a supermodel.
And cleans up nice outside of the Titans tracksuit.
I think that's fair. I'm actually going to put a bit of a wild card at number 8, and that's Dan Campbell. I know that he's crazy, knee-biting maniac, but again, former player, a bro's bro, crushes black coffee and espresso shots all the time, probably a workout fiend. You could see him getting a model and, like, playing that role.
There's no turds here.
My number 9 is going to be Kevin Stefanski. He's a little bit more conservative than the others, but a handsome man, younger, bright, Ivy-educated. I'll go with him also in the top 10 at 9. And my number 10, rounding out the top 10, is going to be Robert Salah. Looks good in a suit, shaves his head really nice. He's a handsome guy, carries himself with confidence. Bad football team, but we're not even going to look at that here. He's my number 10.
The team doesn't matter. It's the coach itself.
My next 10 look like this. The NFL coach is most likely to date a supermodel. Number 11 is going to be Kyle Shanahan. Young, kind of eclectic, but if you like that skater boy, surfer dude kind of look, you're a West Coast gal, you might be into Shanahan. My number 12 is going to be Brian Flores. He's intense, but also handsome guy, still athletic, looks in good shape, and he's kind of mysterious, doesn't say a lot. So that could be something that's a little attractive to women.
That's not bad. And when he does say, he's a smooth talker, too.
Yes. My number 13, Sean Payton. He's up there in age, but a guy that clearly can party, likes his players, hangs out with his players, I feel like. I think, you could have Sean Payton around and have a good time.
You can catch some beads at Mardi Gras.
Yeah, right. My number 14 is young, offensive-minded, but not my top 10 because I think he's socially awkward, but Nick Sirianni.
That would be great. It's the Brad Heller of head coaches.
It's a weird date. You go on that date, and you're like, what's this guy up to? What's he thinking? And he talks a mile a minute. But, again, he's young. He's NFL head coach. He's out of the town probably.
I don't know if he's out of the town much.
My number 15, this is right near midway point. This is where it gets tough. These are older guys. You don't know if they would play well with supermodels. I'll go Ron Rivera 15.
Well, Ron Rivera, I think, might be the hottest of all the coaches.
Okay. Ron is handsome. He's definitely got machismo, but he's more buttoned down than I think dating a supermodel. I think, he likes things quiet, responsible, likes a quiet night sipping some wine, watching Netflix. I don't think he wants supermodel stuff, but I think that he could pull it off because he's former athlete, handsome, kind of has his whole act together.
Oh, yeah. He's more handsome today than he was when he played.
I think that's right. My number 16, I'm not crazy about, but again, I'm getting into a weird way here, a weird part of the NFL coaching list.
There's only 32 of them.
Matt Nagy. Now, Nagy's a bozo as a head coach, but again, relatively young, has a confidence that's misplaced, but you could see him hitting on a girl and like acting like he's the best thing ever, and then you've got to tell her like he's actually terrible at his job, but he would never give that off.
He still wears visors, which would bother me a little if I was a woman.
That's tough. Number 17, Mike Tomlin. Now, Tomlin, I'm sure, commands a room, but Tomlin can't be bothered with supermodel stuff. It's just, he doesn't want drama. He doesn't want any of that stuff. But could he pull it off? And would you be shocked if a supermodel was into Mike Tomlin?
No.
Of course not. Intense, fiery, leadership qualities. You're like, I could see why he would be attractive. He just wouldn't be into it. My number 18, Joe Judge. And, you know, glorified gym teacher, doesn't dress great, kind of seems like stunted adolescence. But he's young. He's NFL coach. You walk into a New York City bar and you're like, I'm the coach of the Giants. There's going to be potential models there if you go to the right club, the right restaurant. Joe Judge might be able to be able to date one of them.
It feels like he only owns like Costco sweatpants, though, which is a problem.
My number 19, Frank Reich. Studious, you know, again, well put together. I don't think he's interested in that life, but a little quantum leapy. You know, he looks like he could have been a sitcom actor in the 1980s or 1990s. I feel like, you know, Frank Reich, he's got something going on. Although, again, I don't think he's interested.
I think the thing with Frank Reich is you got to really sell that your owner doesn't know how to do We Will Rock You, so make fun of him, make fun of your boss. That's cool. That's how you're going to get the woman.
That's where you lead.
Yes.
Okay. My number 19 or number 20, I forget where I'm at.
You're up to 20.
20. Rich Bisaccia. Okay? Now,
love Rich Bisaccia.
Now, Bisaccia's got a little, like, guy at the corner deli that runs the numbers type of thing. And, you know, he's... Bisaccia, you feel like you go to Bisaccia's house for Christmas or, like, a nice dinner.
He's got the 7 fishes.
He's got it all together. Like, you get a nice meal. It's a good bottle of wine. He won't tell you where he got the bottle of wine. You just trust him. It's a good bottle of wine. Don't ask.
Get meat in the package on the way home.
You know, yeah, Bisaccia, he's got a little mystery to him as well, a little toughness. And it wouldn't be crazy for him to date a supermodel.
I think he's got enough on his plate right now, but I see it.
21.
Well, we're going fully past 20 here, huh?
Sean McDermott. Now, McDermott, again, he's boring. He probably wants nothing to do with this, but you could see him potentially pulling a supermodel. He's relatively young. He's successful. 22, John Harbaugh. Now,
were we talking about Chris Moore reading the newspaper?
Harbaugh's got a Super Bowl championship. Again, not interested in the distractions, not interested in chasing, but could he land a supermodel? I suppose he could.
Also, Reid Phillips Radio, just real quickly at Twitch, goes, is he talking about dating? Because now I've lost what the original question was.
The question is, which NFL head coach is most likely to be dating a supermodel? Because one is. And my whole point is, I haven't gotten to him yet, and I'm at number 22. 23 is Matt Rule. Now, Rule has to overcome the social stigma of being best friends with Zach Gelb. That's not easy.
Oh, it's not.
He also looks a little bit like a gummy bear. And
he looks like a gummy bear.
And I'm not sure what Rule's leg is to stand on. I turn around Baylor. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what his lead is with a supermodel.
I'd say the supermodel hopes he has another leg to stand on.
Number 24 is Pete Carroll. Now, Pete's old. He's 70 years old, so you wouldn't see it, but high energy, chewing that gum all the time. He's also stomping up and down the sidelines. So he'd have the energy to run with a supermodel. He's, though, getting up there in years, and
He just said he can't deal with losing. How's he going to deal with a 30-year-old supermodel?
that's why we're right now at the dregs. By the way, I still haven't gotten to the guy that's dating the supermodel.
We know.
Number 25 is Arthur Smith. I know he's young. I know he's new to the league. I know he's in Atlanta where there's plenty of supermodels, but he's really boring, nondescript. What are you selling? I was the Titans OC. Oh, great. You can run an offense around Derrick Henry in the play action. I mean, give me a break. Next, you go Belichick. Because even though Belichick can't dress well, he's grumpy, he is dating a woman who is very, very pretty for her age. And he has that, I don't care what you think about me. And that's attractive to women.
Okay. All right. I mean, he does sometimes wear clothes that looks like he was mauled by a bear, but I understand.
We now get to the group of guys who have no business dating a supermodel, and this is where this guy resides. Now, I put this guy at number 26, okay? So he's not dead last.
Jeez.
Pete, by the way, can't believe we're doing an entire segment.
Neither can Twitch.
Moved this bed 3 times.
It started
never
with the
do
top 10. We've gotten to 26.
The only guys that I find less likely to be dating a supermodel than the guy that is Bruce Arians, Andy Reid, Vic Fangio, Mike McCarthy, and my last on the list is David Culley. David Culley, there's no chance he is ever dating a supermodel. Got no personality, got no juice, he's got no resume, he's got no nothing.
That was my pick.
He's got no nothing.
All right, Bruce Arians, you're undershooting here. Smooth, silky, cigar voice.
Well, you're right. Move
Andy-
Arians up.
Andy Reid, too.
I don't see Reid with a supermodel.
Cheeseburgers.
Reid still does the fart into the armpit thing on a date. He's not picking up a supermodel.
The guy who lands at my number 29 spot, let's say, Mike freaking Zimmer. And that gets the Viking horn. Apparently, Mike Zimmer, head coach of the Vikings, is dating a 39-year-old supermodel named Katarina who loves the Vikings. She is a diehard Vikings fan. She's gone to Vikings games. They've been photographed together out at dinner. Mike Zimmer has been single. Tragically, his wife passed away more than a decade ago. And apparently they've been dating for a while now, and she has now confirmed she is dating Mike Zimmer on social media. So, I mean, Mraz, you could go down the list of NFL head coaches, and how far down you'd have to go to get to Mike Zimmer's the guy is outrageous.
It's unbelievable.
It's the Vikings. I dare I say this. It's the best win the Vikings have had since the 98 playoffs.
It's not a bad take, and they beat the Packers Sunday. So that's not a bad take.
At the very least, it's the best Vikings win since the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah, and it makes sense why they just keep re-upping Kirk Cousins, because at this point, who cares when you have her to come home to?
Purple drapes.
If you're Mike Zimmer, do you just hang up the clipboard, the headset, and retire and be like, hey, I'm not into game planning the Lions this week. I've got better things to do.
Unless she's into him because he's the head coach of the Vikings, and then she's out when he's not the head coach of
That
the
he
Vikings.
can't quit.
He can't quit. She needs to tell people she dates the coach of the Vikings. So maybe is there somebody we can't name that maybe has given her a ride to and from Bank of America Stadium?
What?
Get on top of the guy and they'll do a lap dance.
You mean physically, literally driving her to the stadium?
Oh
being,
yeah, not the.
He
figure
who
ride.
shall not be named is a friend of the organization, at least a friend of the play-by-play voice, and he did shuttle wives and families around the NFC Championship game at Lincoln Financial in Philadelphia a couple of years ago.
That person, yeah. So this would,
Correct.
yeah, correct. This would be somebody who might jump in that car to a hotel.
Really jumping.
This is clearly Mike Zimmer's. It's his second greatest win of his coaching career behind the Minneapolis Miracle.
I think that's completely fair.
And it might top it.
I think
It's
does
more
top it.
improbable
For sure.
than even Stephon Diggs beating the defense down the far sideline.
Yes, I would rather have her than Case Keenum. There's no doubt about it.
But what's more improbable? Stephon Diggs catching that pass?
Mike Zimmer? I mean, and with all due respect to Mike Zimmer, he has like a lot of eye surgeries too, right? She comes by his hospital side.
Well, what is that supposed to mean?
Well, that's...
What makes that unattractive about Mike Zimmer? Eye surgeries.
Well, I imagine that's probably not easy when he's constantly... I'm not going to get myself into trouble. Like, you got to be bedside at the hospital a lot. He's in and out of medical care.
Keep digging.
I don't know how long he's been in hospitals because of the eye surgery. I mean, he might be able to get the eye surgery and just leave.
All right, well, regardless, that's a lot of caring for your boyfriend if he, off-season, a lot of times he can't see.
You think that's the deal breaker for the supermodel Katarina?
I'm just saying it's a lot of work. It's not the armpit farts of Andy Reid. It's a lot of off the field with Mike Zimmer.
A lot of off the field.
He's got a medical history. It's rough to deal with if you're a young woman.
What an amazing story of the NFL season. You thought the NFL season was unpredictable to this point? Wait till you go into work today and tell your coworkers and buddies, Mike Zimmer, guess which NFL coach is dating a supermodel? And see how long it takes them to get to Mike Zimmer.